Another great game for the purple and gold. Following a road victory in Memphis, coming back to their own home court and defending their own home court, beating the Miami Heat 130-120. And yes, that's definitely a high scoring affair. Not their best, nor the Miami Heat's best defensive showing tonight. You know, apart from a few good steals and good open court dunks, not a whole lot of defense in this one, but just enough from the Lakers, just enough from a few individuals like Marcus Smart, who is one of the few good defenders on the court tonight, him being very vocal and trying to make them compete on defense, which they were able to do just enough, and to go along with that, putting up 130 points and having 3 different guys score 25 plus, including Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, and Jake Laravia off the bench, having 6 players in double figures, their entire starting lineup, everyone from Luka, Austin, Rui Hachimura, Marcus Smart, and Jackson Hayes, in which he had 11 points during the first half of the first quarter. Very good game for Hayes, good team win tonight, and all around a balanced affair that was able to get them a home court win, their second of the early season. And well, the Lakers seem to be building some really good momentum and team chemistry too. I mean, anytime the Heat, or their last opponent the Grizzlies, tried to make a run throughout the game, the Lakers directly had an answer for it. Yes, again mainly offensively, but doing enough defensively, getting takeaways and turning them into easy transition points, having 14 steals tonight, by far a season high for them. Jake Laravia having 4 off the bench in 34 minutes, probably his best game of the year so far. No, maybe not matching the 27-point game he had back in Minneapolis, but having 25 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 4 steals off the bench. Incredible game for Jake Laravia. In addition to that, Luke having 3 steals to that total, Marcus Smart having 2, and then Jackson Hayes having 1. Good defensive playmaking game for their team, maybe not the best rim protection game for their team, maybe not the best individual defense at times, but good defensive playmaking to make up for it, and a very balanced offensive approach that was more than enough to make up for it. Like I said, scoring 130 points tonight, having 3 guys score over 25 plus, not even with Luka Doncic having a 50, 40, or even 30 point game. Same thing for Austin Reeves. Very balanced scoring attack tonight. Not even their best 3-point shooting affair. Yes, they made 15 threes, but only shot 32%, 4 of which were made by Austin, 2 of which were made by Jake Laravia off the bench, then 3 of which by Rui Hachimura and Marcus Smart, both of them making 3. I thought it was a good, balanced scoring affair for their team. Good offensive approach and good offensive attack with them. No, you're not going to get Luka Doncic shooting 1 for 11 from beyond the arc very often, and even in spite of that, their team putting up 130 and putting up one of their best all-around offensive games of the young season so far. And well, I mentioned a few names here, but there definitely are a lot to point to. Again, you can talk about Jackson Hayes tonight, filling in for DeAndre Ayton, who did sit out last minute with some followed up back spasms that he suffered last game, bothering him again tonight, so they opted to not play him. And Jackson Hayes filled in admirably for him, shooting a perfect 7 of 7 for the field, having 15 points, 11 of which he dropped during the first quarter alone, 5 rebounds, 1 offensive rebound, 1 steal, 1 block, being a team high plus 17 for their team. Great game for Jackson Hayes. Then, like I said, for Marcus Smart, probably being their best defender, and in fact it's probably not even close tonight, getting the 2 steals I mentioned, 1 block, an emphatic block in transition I think on Jaime Jaquez if I remember. He played great defense, he was a vocal leader for their team, per usual, and even chipped in 11 points to go with it. Then for Hachimura, continuing to be very efficient and ultra efficient. Entering this game, he had been shooting above 50% and above 40% from the 3-point line, and he once again did that. In fact, he shot 50% from the field and 60% from the 3-point line tonight, going 6 of 12 from the field and 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And well, the same thing can be said for Jake Laravia. Nearly as efficient as Rui, even better than Rui tonight, going 10 of 13 from the field, an ultra efficient 77% from the field, 2 of 3 from beyond the arc, over 66%, and after this game, Jake's shooting roughly 59% from the field, and well over 50% from the 3-point line too. So very impressive for their efficiency, very good defense for Marcus Smart, great admiral fill-in for Jackson Hayes, and per usual, good game for Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves to lead their offense. Heck, not even a bad game for Bronny James off the bench, filling in and playing 18 minutes to their team, even some big fourth quarter minutes, and playing pretty well on defense for them. So with all of that being said, I'll let you hear from JJ Redick and the team about their win tonight, and how they can carry this momentum going forward, as they do play again tomorrow night.
give the details of it, but just said you guys spoke about kind of him, tell him to be himself or something. But
yeah, well, we talk every day, so
Yeah.
it wasn't. I don't think that was a abnormal conversation or anything like that. But he was great. For us to have 33 assists and 6 guys in double figures, they're really the easiest way. They're a team that makes you pass the ball because they simultaneously paint swarm with 3 or 4 weak side defenders, and they help off the strong side corner. We missed at least 4, if not more, wide open strong side corner threes on drives. Didn't like the way we started offensively in the third quarter. Didn't put any pressure on the paint. Called that timeout. I think the next 3 or 4 possessions, AR and Luka were really aggressive in getting in the paint, and that got our offense going again. But Jake was just another great game from him. He's allowing the game to come to him. He's comfortable with the off-ball stuff and the cutting and just reading the game right now. And not surprised that he's found a level of comfort, just from coaching against him last year, watching him play when he did play his first couple years. He's got a knack for the game. He does. He just knows how to play. He's solid in a number of areas, and I think he's a great complement to our main guys, and he's starring in his own way right now, which is awesome.
After the Memphis game, Lucas said there was probably 4 or 5 shots he could have been a little more disciplined on. Tonight he goes 1 for 11 from 3. Was that a result of shots that maybe he could have had a better shot selection on, and then just overall, you've mentioned this before, he plays with joy, like, because it is a game, what's your tolerance for those type of shots?
Yeah, I didn't off the top of my head, I don't remember there being like a bad. I mean, a couple of them were end of shot clock, trying to get a basket or a ball on the basket and touch the rim, like one of AR's as well. So I think when you're a primary guy, you're naturally gonna take some of those. I didn't think any of the other ones were bad shots. He just maybe, I don't know, just an off night shooting the ball, but he's got a triple-double on an off night, so not bad.
Kind of 2 for you. Your 2 best offensive players missed, I think, 26 combined shots on a night when you still shot 50% from the field. What is it about? Is that gravity? Is it their playmaking for others? What kind of allowed the offense to still function, even though those guys weren't putting the ball in the basket at the same level of efficiency that this team's been accustomed to?
Yeah, I think it was a number of factors. We did a nice job of winning the possession battle, so we were able to get out in transition. From the first half, we did a great job on the defensive glass and held them to a low amount of offensive rebounds and got them to turn the ball over a little bit, so we were able to score in transition and score in early offense. Jackson did a great job throughout the game of getting behind the defense and rolling. Jake got some putbacks, so I think the sort of the loose change we were able to get offensively tonight, and we've had some of that recently in some of these games as well. I thought the Minnesota game at Minnesota, we won that game because of our effort offense. So that's pleasing. And then again, I think it goes back just to the way Miami defends and their emphasis on playing help defense. And it's there's shift presentation, and there's a shift that's like literally trying to stop the basketball and create a turnover, and that's kind of how they do it. The only thing is, we in our walkthrough at 3 hours before the game, the only thing we did offensively, we installed a play and we went over our zone offense, and I didn't think we were as organized as we should be in our zone offense, and I'll take some blame for that, but that was my only gripe really with the offense tonight.
And then when talking about Jake earlier, you said like he just knows how to play basketball, and that seems sort of base, but I know for coaches, like, that's a pretty high compliment. What does it have, like, having players like that?
It's just it's simple stuff. It's a change of possession and him surveying the floor and figuring out what should my running pattern be here. Should I go put pressure on the rim, which he did tonight? Should I go space for a three, which he did tonight. Had 2 cuts to the basket. One was an ATO and one was just playing basketball. He had a face cut on Hawkes. Like he just has a really good feel. His knack for the basketball as a defender, his knack for the basketball as a rebounder. He just has a real intuitive feel for the game.